What's up, baes? Welcome back to my channel if you are returning, and of course welcome if you are new here. If you're not already aware, whether you're new here or you just haven't explored my channel too much yet, I am very big on solo traveling, solo dating, solo adventures, and just really embracing your alone time and prioritizing that. And whether or not you're single like myself, I do still feel like it's very important to have alone time. I actually feel like it strengthens relationships when individuals, do prioritize their own alone time. And so really the purpose of today's video is just to give you all some ideas, 25 solo date ideas that you can try in 2025 to help support you in your solo date or solo activity journey, potentially leading up to maybe a solo trip. I always got to do that little plug in there. But hopefully this video is helpful, and also would love for you all to chime in the comments if you've tried any of these activities solo, if you're looking to start your solo journey or anything else that might be helpful to not only myself but also the rest of the audience. Definitely feel free to put it in the comment section below. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get right on to today's video. Okay, so I wanted to be organized, y'all. So I actually pre-did this, thought about all these things, and I'm definitely going to talk about my personal experience, not in great length, but if I've done any of these activities alone, which honestly, probably all of them. Majority of things I have done alone, so I could definitely speak to my experiences. And let's go ahead and get right on into it, okay? So solo date idea numero uno. Take yourself to brunch. I know we love to brunch with our friends, and brunching is an activity that's, centered around entertainment and, oh, let's go to brunch. You always hear, let's go to brunch. You never hear about let me take myself to brunch. So I really love that one because it is a little bit different, and it gives you an opportunity to maybe try something new, try a new restaurant that you've always wanted to try. And honestly, I really encourage people to challenge themselves to eat alone, because it's one of those things where I always hear people talk about their hesitation with eating alone. And, oh my gosh, I feel like, people are going to be staring at me, or they're going to be looking at me why is she alone? When I tell y'all, people do not be worried about other people like we think that they do. And the way I look at it is that interaction, well, it's really not an actual interaction, is going to not even make a difference. This is a person that, even if they are noticing you potentially, this is somebody that you're most likely not even going to see again. And they're a complete stranger. So who cares? You know what I mean? Who cares about their opinion? You're out to eat. You're trying to have a good time by yourself, whether you bring somebody along or not. So that's why I think brunch is a really good option. And it also just allows yourself to kind of really put yourself out there. Also, too, brunch is good on the weekends. I know a lot of times we get really busy during the week, and so taking yourself to brunch on a weekend is a good way to just do something new, try something new if you're super busy during the week. Number two, kind of along the same thing, try a new restaurant try a new restaurant for dinner. So I know I said take yourself to brunch, because that's more of a weekend activity. So someone who may be super busy during the week and doesn't feel like going to dinner or trying out a new restaurant. That's another thing too. Some people don't necessarily feel like trying something new on a weekday because you're just trying to get something to eat. Maybe grab something on your way home from work and then go home and eat and go to sleep because you're tired. So that's why brunch is one thing. That's a weekend activity. You can get dressed up, look cute, or you can try a new restaurant that you always wanted to try for dinner, or even for lunch or brunch. They are kind of one and the same, but it's always a good idea to go and try something new restaurant that you never gone to before. Number three, a workout class. I know a lot of us go to the gym by ourselves, but it's something to switch it up a little bit would be just going to a workout class. I know a lot of the gyms now offer workout classes with the memberships. Some it's extra, but some ideas could be a Pilates class or a dance class, something like that. That's actually a workout or fitness class. Again, you could do it through your own gym, or some gyms may have like pop-in type of options, but it's a great way to stay active, to switch up your workout routine. If you do normally go to the gym, it gives you an alternative workout. And another thing is, it's so easy to go to a workout class alone. Like, as I feel like everybody is just there to do one thing, work out, get the class in. It could be a cycling class or something. Everybody's kind of focused in there. And I feel like a lot of times people are there by themselves when it comes to like workout classes. So that's a good activity to do if you are kind of trying to ease yourself into that, and you just kind of want to be a little bit more comfortable where other people are kind of just in their zone. That's a great option as well. Number 4, which this is one of my favorite things to do solo, believe it or not, concert going, y'all. Yes, when I tell y'all, I love, and I've talked about this before on the channel, one of my other videos, I love going to concerts alone, mainly not because I don't enjoy concerts with other people. That's not it whatsoever. But I'm just a super last minute spontaneous person. So a lot of times, I live in South Florida, so a lot of times we get a lot of concerts anyway. And a lot of times I will last minute decide to go. And I remember I went to see Daniel Caesar. I think I bought the ticket like the day of. Actually, yeah, it was literally like a couple hours before the start of the concert. Then Alicia Keys was down here. I wanted to see her, and I didn't even find out about her coming until I think the day before. Bought my ticket, one of those last minute cheap tickets. And another reason why I also love going to concerts alone is that you can usually get a better price, especially if you wait till the last minute, because you're only one person. So a lot of times concert tickets will go down depending on who it is. Some will go up regardless, but a lot of times concert tickets will actually decrease the day of. And when you're only one person versus trying to find 2 seats together or 3, the more seats that you're trying to find together, the more difficult it is. And so when you're only one person, you only need that one seat. And a lot of times you can find a really good deal because they're trying to fill in the seat. So it's like, you might have a group of 2 here, a group of 3 or 4 here, and then they're trying to place somebody in that one seat, and then that's where you come in. I'm so sorry, y'all. Like, probably not the best place to put this phone. Anyway. Oopsies. Did I? Oh, okay. Number 5, which is something that I love to do as well, is go to a museum. And I love museums because, especially as an activity for someone who is maybe a little shy or a little to themselves. No, actually, no, not to yourself, but maybe someone who is a little bit more self-conscious about going places alone, someone who is trying to ease into solo dating or solo activities. I think a museum is a great option because nobody is really worried about anybody else in a museum, y'all. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, it's calm. People are in their zone. Nobody's really worried about anybody else. If people are with each other, they're kind of in their own little bubble, not worried about the next person. So, like I said before, we really don't want to worry about what other people think or, think about that too much. But the reality is we're all human. So that's a natural, kind of human thing to sometimes get a little insecure or think about maybe what somebody else is thinking or watching or whatever the case may be. So until you get to a point where you just don't care, don't bother with it anymore or let it bother you, a museum's a great option because people are just in their zone. Like nobody is really worried about anybody else in a museum. It's a quiet environment. You don't have to worry about, like interacting, with other people because it's a, crowded, noisy environment or, you just don't have to worry about any of that. So that's why I really enjoy museums. I think they're a nice calming environment where you can just kind of be in your own thoughts and just enjoy yourself, enjoy your own company. Number 6, one of my favorites on the list is just not something that I've done before. And I'm definitely going to put this on my list of solo activities to do in 2025. Because I've never actually done this, surprisingly. But number 6 is a spa day. Who doesn't love a spa day? And this is so easy to do alone, y'all. I mean, literally book yourself into a spa, have a day to yourself, just get all of the things, okay? Relax, rejuvenate, spend some time in the steam room, go to the pool, get your massage, like all of it. I think a spa day is honestly one of the best things that you can do for yourself. It's a self-care activity. You're doing it alone. You are just in your own thoughts. You're in your own vibe. Like, you don't have to worry about anybody else. And that's the whole point of a spa day anyway, is to relax. So what better way to relax when you have nobody with you? You don't have to worry about chatting it up or, discussing this or discussing that. Like, obviously, we have our times where we want to do that. We want to, chat it up with family, friends, our girlfriends, whomever. But if you're on a spa day alone, it's just that time to just be in solitude and just enjoy it. So I think that's a really great idea. And I personally am definitely going to put that on my list, probably as a birthday gift to myself. We'll see. Number 7, go to the movies. The movies is such an easy thing to do alone, of course. Like, go to a movie that you've always wanted to see. Not necessarily always wanted to see, because of course, movies come out. But go and see a movie that you want to see. And force yourself to go alone. Force yourself to not ask, someone that hey, let's go see this together. Unless someone, or you're close to someone and that's something you all will want to see together. But pick another movie that they might not mind you watching or seeing alone or without them, and go and do that on your own. Do it. A great time to go is during the matinee showings. I think that's what they still call them. Like, they're in the daytime on like a Saturday or Sunday. It's much cheaper. Maybe not much cheaper. I haven't looked at the prices in a while, but I know it is cheaper than going in the evening time, especially on a Saturday night, for sure. Friday night, Saturday night, it's definitely going to be cheaper than that. So that's a good way too. Is like, you can go during the day, and that way you can go to the movies and then literally come out and it's still light out, and you can go about your day, whatever activities that you need to do, errands you need to run, whatever, and still have a nice little activity to yourself, and then just go about your business after that. Number 8, which this is obviously going to depend on the area that you live in, but if you are near a beach, I would highly recommend having a beach day as a solo activity. I have done it numerous times, like a lot, a lot, and I always enjoy it. I always have a good time. I mean, it's been so hot in South Florida. Well, actually not recently, but our summers have been so hot that I actually haven't been to the beach in quite a while. But then it got super cold. So like, then I didn't want to go to the beach when it's super cold. So now it's kind of warming up a bit. So I'm probably going to end up planning a beach day pretty soon and enjoying that time alone as well. So I would definitely recommend going to the beach. It's super relaxing. It's super rejuvenating. You could just lay there and just enjoy the sun, enjoy the breeze, enjoy the chirps and of the birds and everything, especially if you go in the morning when the crowds are not there. It is so soothing, y'all. Like, it is just soothing. It's relaxing, and it's a great activity to do alone. Number 9, which I personally haven't done myself, but I really want to do it, is a cooking class. I think that there is, let me not misquote it, but because I think that might be a cooking store. Sur la Table. I think, do they offer cooking classes? I think it's a cooking store, but I believe that they offer cooking classes, if I'm not mistaken. But it's French, which it just means on the table in French. But it's spelled S-U-R. I'll try to remember to put it in the video. But it is, if I'm not mistaken, they offer cooking classes, and I have been wanting to try one. I got to look it up and see if they have one in my area, because I have been wanting to do a cooking class, and I think that is a great solo activity because you're in a class, there's an instructor. So the point is to immerse yourself in the activity itself. So there's not really a lot of pressure per se to again, these are solo activities, and I want to give you all activities that people who may not be used to spending time alone may be a bit more comfortable doing. And so I feel like when it's an activity where you're kind of immersed in the experience, there's not a lot of room to really kind of worry about what the next person is doing or paying attention to you and whatnot, whatever the case may be. So I feel like a cooking class is a great way to do that, because you're immersed in the activity and the instruction, and that's it, and it's enjoyable. You're learning something new, can take some tips and tricks for yourself for home, and things. Yeah, that's definitely something that's on my own list of things to do. Number 10, a dance class. So I love to dance. If y'all have seen some of my shorts, y'all know I love to dance. And dance classes are such a fun thing to do by yourself, because everybody is there just to have a good time. That is one thing that I can guarantee you. If you go to a dance class, people are not there. It's not there as a chore. It's not there as an assignment. It's not there because somebody forced them to be there. Dance is it's just an activity that people really enjoy and have fun with it. And if somebody is coming to a dance class, they're coming to enjoy themselves. And so it's just good vibes all around. I have never been to a dance class where the vibes were off or the vibes weren't there. Everybody was just there to have a good time, there to learn and there to have a good time. So that's why I really do recommend it, especially like a beginner adults dance class, like adult hip hop. That's always a good time. Even an adult ballet class, that I would highly recommend that. It's more of a, discipline type of dance. But it is definitely a good activity to do alone, especially if you just want to try something new. Number 11, a solo hike. I know, we probably have some outdoorsy girlies or gentlemen. I don't discriminate, whomever is here that would like to get some more solo activities in. A solo hike, that is a great activity. It would just recommend that, obviously for safety reasons, don't recommend going, below sunset and or before sunset. Of course, have your phone charged. Take all of the safety precautions and safety measures just like you would if you're going anywhere alone, but not going on the off-beaten paths, like all of those things. But I think getting out and enjoying nature alone is a really great way to enjoy your alone time. It gives you a moment to reflect, think, all that good stuff. Number 12, a candle making class. Those are always super fun. Again, any activity that you can just do something new, especially candle making, because that's something that you can take home with you. And it's kind of like a memory for you of this particular activity that you did, this particular solo activity you did. And so I'm big on souvenirs, keepsakes, things that you can look at and reflect on and remember. It kind of just takes you back to that moment. And so especially if you are new to solo activity, solo dating, I feel like it's something that you can look back on and be like, oh yeah, that's something that I did when I went on this solo date with myself and had a good time, and just always have that memory. Every time you see that candle, it's like, oh, I made that and I had a good time. Number 13, always a good vibe. An at-home movie night. And when I say at-home movie night, I'm talking the whole 9 yards. I'm talking movie marathon, getting your popcorn and snacks together, maybe, ordering some wings, whatever, you like and enjoy, and just sitting there and having a good time, acting like you are truly at the movies, but at home. And it's definitely cheaper than going out to the movies, because you can literally get all of the snacks you want. You don't even have to rent movies. Nowadays, all of the streaming services have good movies out, and Tubi is out, and they have movies that are free. Amazon Prime has movies that come with their subscription service. They do have some that don't, and you have to rent, and I thought that was interesting, but that's neither here nor there. But they do have some that actually come with the Prime membership. So it's you can go through that and look up some movies. So yeah, at-home movie night is always a good vibe, because you don't have to deal with anybody. You don't have to interact with anybody. That's probably the most solo activity, the easiest solo activity to do, is just being at home, enjoying yourself. Number 14 is going to a library. So just a little bit about me. Excuse me. So I've always loved to read. Like, even as a kid, my parents would always tell me, oh, you were just always reading. You love to read. Like, that's something that's just always kind of been instilled in you. But as I got older, I kind of lost that enjoyment for reading because everything was study, study, study. So it was like all the reading I was doing was based on studying. And so it kind of took out the enjoyment of reading from me. And so what I've been focused on, probably from like the middle of last year, so the middle of like 2024, maybe even a little bit before that until now, is just reading for enjoyment, whether it's a self-help book, whether it's something that can increase my knowledge in a particular area, or if it's fiction. Like, one of my favorite authors is Kennedy Ryan. Recently started reading her books, and I love her. I love her work. She actually has another one coming out in March. Oh, I'm so excited. Already pre-ordered and everything. But anyway, I always get, y'all know I be going on my tangents, but I said all that to say that going to a library and just immersing yourself and finding a good book to read, going and you could find like a short story book or something like that you could read at the library, or just go to the library, find a good book, get a library card. Y'all, I know we're real big on that when we were growing up. But y'all know they still got library cards. You can still go to a library and get you a card, check out a book, check out multiple books, and not even have to buy any books. So that's still a thing. So I would definitely recommend going to a library, especially like the really fancy ones with the multiple floors, depending on where you're located. They have some really nice public libraries like all over. So I would recommend like going to like a really nice one and then just kind of getting yourself immersed in it, finding a book, start reading it, see if it's something that you like, and just sit there for a couple of hours and read. And then if you don't finish it, just check it out and go home and finish it there, or come back the next day or the next week or something like that, and just enjoy that time all over. You can even go to a bookstore, like library or bookstore, like either one, and just make a whole like activity out of it. Get you a coffee, maybe bring you a snack or two, and just enjoy some reading, some light reading, for enjoyment or knowledge building, whatever the case may be. But definitely a good one for sure. Number 15, visiting the local farmers market. I love the farmers market in my area. It is one of my favorite places. I would go every weekend if I could. If I had the money, I would go every single weekend. But there's a lot of local farmers markets all over. You don't have to be located in South Florida. There's farmers markets everywhere. And that's a great way to just explore some of your local businesses, local small businesses, local farmers, not only to support them but also to shop more healthy organic items, locally sourced items, and things of that nature. As we know, we've got a lot going on in the world right now. Story for another day. But so yes, shopping locally sourced or farm, local farmers, it's always a good option. And they have a lot of the farmers markets have some unique finds. It's not just like fruits and vegetables and things like that, but it's actually like small businesses where they'll be at a farmers market and showcasing their items, places that you wouldn't even have necessarily stumbled upon if you didn't go to the farmer's market. So I always love just perusing. I could honestly spend hours at a farmer's market just looking around, looking at the different things that they have, buying, different food items, produce, things I can eat right then and there, trying new foods, like all of the above. So I would definitely recommend a farmer's market for sure. Number 16, going to a sports event. I actually have not, believe it or not, I have never gone to... No, I did. I went to, oh yeah, that's true. I went to the Miami Open for the first time, and I went alone. So I was supposed to meet a group there, and then I couldn't find them and just ended up vibing by myself. But yes, I went to the Miami Open tennis tournament, went by myself, went to the finals match. That was such a cool experience. My first time at a tennis tournament, watching professional tennis players. Just so cool. So I would highly recommend that because the vibes at sporting events is always there. So whether it's like a basketball game or a tennis match, tennis tournament, like all of the above, whatever it is, I think that's a great way to like just get yourself out there again and enjoy your time, alone, and pick a sport that you maybe enjoy, but also potentially look at going to a sport that you maybe don't know much about, but could go and watch a match and kind of maybe, educate yourself a little bit before you go, and then go and actually see it happening. Because interesting thing is, I started learning tennis a year and a half ago. No, a little over a year ago, but haven't really gotten into the actual rules of the game. And so it's so interesting because I started learning by going to the Miami Open. It actually was almost like kind of teaching myself in real time, just seeing what was going on. So I honestly would actually recommend going and, maybe going to a sport that you aren't super familiar with, and maybe familiarizing yourself a little bit before, and then actually going to the event and kind of seeing it, and then being like, oh yeah, so that's what that was that I looked up online, or something like that. Like, I had a really good time with it, so that's why I recommend it. But I think any sporting event, even if it's something that you are familiar with, I think you can definitely have a great time. The camaraderie is usually there. People are just there to have fun. Again, it's one of those activities that people are there to vibe, people are there to enjoy themselves, so it's very easy for you to just kind of fall in line and enjoy yourself as well. Let's see, where are we? Number 17, simple enough. Take a walk. Take a walk, take a walk, take a walk. And that's something I would almost recommend every single day if you can, even if it's 15 minutes, 10 minutes. And this is something that I personally want to instill more for myself. I don't take my walks enough, but I know, and I feel like if I did do that more, it would just kind of give me a release, force me to spend more time outside. Y'all know we need our vitamin D. So that is a great way to get outdoors, enjoy your time outside, clear your head. That's why I said after work is a great time to do that, even if it's just 10 to 15 minutes before you start dinner or start the next activity, go work out, whatever it is. Just take a breather, take a walk outside, and just spend some time alone. Like, especially if you live with someone, that's a great way to just like decompress before you kind of, get into the evening and whatever obligations or responsibilities that you might have. Number 18, going to a pottery class. I think that's a great activity to do alone. It's kind of the same vibe of the candle making class. Everyone's there to candle making or cooking class. Everyone's there, to learn something, to get instruction. So people are traditionally pretty focused. Like, it's definitely an enjoyable activity, but people are kind of focused on the task at hand, getting the instruction, learning. And so I think that would be great. And also because, again, kind of the same thing with the candle making class, you get like something tangible that you can take home with you and remember that, like, oh yeah, I did that when I went, on my solo date on this particular time, or like even right on the sculpture or whatever, pottery item that you make, like right under it, solo date, January 2025 or something like that. That way you always have that memory and, can remember, oh yeah, I did that by myself and had a great time doing it. Number 19, going to the park. Yes, absolutely. Again, it just goes back into getting outdoors, enjoying yourself. Parks have different things. I mean, they have swings. I know we're adults now, but there's nothing wrong with getting on a swing, y'all, and getting that inner child, out there a little bit. But yeah, I love going to the park, even more so than just like taking a walk in my neighborhood, just seeing like the scenery, the trees. We have there's a park that's not too far from me that has like these huge hills. So I really like just going out there and just enjoying myself, whether it's, taking a jog or taking a walk in the park and just enjoying it. It's always a good time to do alone. Number 20, going back to the classes, a painting class. Y'all know like the sip and paint classes. Those are actually a great activity to do alone. I know a lot of times we hear people talk about the classes and they're usually like an activity, like a birthday or something like that. Don't be shy away from going to those classes by yourself, y'all. Like they actually do have classes where people can come in and like book the class and like come to the class and not necessarily be a part of like a gathering, a birthday or something like that. So I would definitely suggest looking into that because those are really nice. And again, same thing. You have something tangible, take home with you, and it's a good memory for you to have. And remember that solo date, solo activity that you had, and just enjoy yourself. a lot of those are bring your own BYOB, and then you can just enjoy the class. Number 21, volunteering. Volunteering, contrary to potential popular belief, volunteering is actually an activity. And for a lot of people, it's an enjoyable activity. I personally love volunteering. I love getting out there in my community. I love giving back. And so it's such, it just warms my heart and it brings me so much joy. So I love doing it alone because it just is something that I can decide when I'm available versus you don't necessarily have to asking friends, oh, okay, are you available to do this? Or some people just don't have an interest in it. I'm going to be honest. Some people just don't have an interest in it, or maybe they don't have an interest in a particular volunteer activity. So a lot of times I don't even bother. I just go by myself. I'll sign up. There's, websites that you can go on and just look in your local area of volunteer opportunities. So that's pretty much what I do a lot of times. I've also, I'm also familiar with certain activities and volunteer activities through my school. And so just different things like that. Volunteering with your church. A lot of churches have volunteer opportunities. So getting involved that way is a great way to also just have that time to yourself, but also feel good about giving back to others and just kind of dedicating that time outside of, your normal day to day. Number 22. So we are nearing the end. And actually, I have over 25, but we're going to stop at 25 since that's what I said before. But number 22 is a solo day trip to a nearby city. I know I always talk about the solo traveling, but when I say solo traveling, that includes day trips. Like, you don't have to go and fly to a different city or drive and stay for an entire weekend for you to have a solo trip, solo day trip. So if there's a city nearby, like 3 hours or less that you would feel comfortable driving to, then take a day trip there. Like, look up, some hidden gems in that nearby city, things that you would like to try. It gets you outside of your, kind of four walls, outside of your local community, so you can try different restaurants or do a solo activity that you have been wanting to do that maybe they don't have in your local area, or maybe they do, but you want to try it in a different city or a different state. If you're close, if you're on the cusp of different states, you could travel to another state if it's close by, and just have a cute little day trip, a little date day, and have some interesting activities or fun activities that you want to do, or just try some new restaurants that are not in your local area, things like that. Number 23 is having a picnic. I think that is so cute. And nobody talks about having picnics alone. Every time it's always like a romantic thing, which it's cute. I definitely agree. Like, I would love to go on a picnic for a date. I think that's so cute, like for a date with someone else. But I also would love to take myself on a little picnic, like, get my little basket together, sandwiches and this and that and the other, and like have like my iPad or something with me. So if I want to like just sit there and vibe out, but watch something on my iPad, or just, enjoy nature, whatever I want to do. Just have a good time by myself. And I love to eat, y'all. So I love to eat, period. Whether it's with somebody or by myself, I love to eat. So sign me up. If it's got eating involved, sign me up. So I definitely would enjoy, I know for me, I would enjoy a picnic. So I would definitely recommend that as well. Going to a local park, enjoying the vibes, and enjoying some good eats. And then number 24 is going to a botanical garden. I want to go to a botanical garden so bad, and there's so many things that I want to do, y'all. I honestly just need to start making a list and then just like checking it off and almost planning all the things that I really want to do. But I really want to go to a botanical garden. I know Atlanta has a beautiful one. Like, I'm actually contemplating flying to Atlanta for the day. One of these months or weeks coming up, just to go to their botanical garden. I heard so many good things about it. But even in the local area, I think Miami has a botanical garden. I don't know if there's one in Broward, Fort Lauderdale area, but definitely looking to explore that. But yeah, look up a botanical garden in your area. Like, those are really pretty places, and they are kind of similar to a museum where you can kind of just like vibe out, get into your own world and just enjoy the beauty of it. DC has a really beautiful one as well. I have been to the one in DC, not alone, but I have been the one in DC with my family, and that was really beautiful. So just a cool experience overall, and something that I know after doing it, I would definitely do it again. I would do it alone for sure. And then let's go ahead and just end it here. Like I said, I do have more than 25. I didn't realize I do have more than 25, but we are going to just keep it at the 25 that I mentioned. And then this is a very, very simple one, going and trying a new coffee shop. That one is like perfect solo activity because you can literally just go vibe out, try something new, try a local coffee shop, mom and pop type coffee shop, because a lot of times they have like the best coffee and pastries and things like that. The smaller shops have like really good coffee, tea, pastries, all of that. And so great way to take that book that you might have checked out at the library or that new book that you bought at the bookstore and go to that local coffee shop, try some new coffee or tea or some type of beverage and get you a nice pastry and just sit there and immerse yourself in your new book and enjoy yourself in your own company. So I hope this video was helpful. If you all have any other suggestions, definitely put them down in the comments. I would love to hear what you all are planning on doing to increase your solo adventures this year. If you have any questions about solo adventures, solo activities, anything, definitely let me know. We'll be more than happy to answer or even make an additional video if it's helpful. And anything that you all might want to see on the channel this year. We are growing, y'all. Oh my gosh, I am ecstatic. We grew so much in January that I'm like, it's up, y'all. It's up. So I'm so excited and I just can't wait to see what's to come with this channel. So definitely stick around for more. I appreciate y'all so much for being here, especially if you made it through to the end of the video. I tried to keep this as short as I could, but also, wanted to elaborate on a few things. So I think it is going to be pretty lengthy, but I'm a talker, y'all. It's just me. I can't help it. So thank you so much for sticking around, and definitely like the video if you enjoyed it, comment down below. And of course, click that subscribe button so that you can continue to grow with me as we grow this community. Thank you all again so much for joining me. And as always, I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.